thank you all for being here tonight for our annual awarding of the John Jack Brett Champions Award. The John Jack Brett Champions Award is named after Jim Brett's brother Jack, who you can see in the picture as you came in below, who was the catalyst for motivating Jim and the rest of the Brett family to ensure everyone gains equal access to playing fields of sport and life. Tonight's event marks the third time this award has been given. The inaugural award recipient, and the year we started it, was Jim Brett himself. The second award went to Marty Walsh. And this year's award, the person eating the cookies, is chosen by the Brett family, is Congressman Joe Kennedy. Before I continue, I just want to shout out a few people in the room, and I'm sorry if I missed anybody, but Richard Paris, from the president of Local 718, is here. We have Chief Willie Gross over in the corner, hiding somewhere over there. We have Stephen Rothstein, who is doing an amazing job with the John F. Kennedy Library's 100th celebration. Chief Willie Gross from the ARC. And we have many, many board members and supporters in the room, and of course my family, who I feel like I have the Brett family, my work family, and my personal family. So we have Johnny Jacksteimer in the room, and we have Julie Santosis, Debbie Millen, Matt Millett, and am I missing anybody? Jeff Nothnagel, and I always forget Jerry Morrissey, so that's not a problem. So Jerry Morrissey. And all of you, thank you for the support. And we also have many sponsors in the room, so thank you this evening. And more importantly, we have many athletes in the room, which I'll get to in a second. Today, Special Olympics Massachusetts has more than 12,000 individuals across the state. The youngest is 2, and the oldest is 93. We did lose our 104-year-old this year. He lived a very, thankfully, long life, but he is no longer with us. Our oldest athlete is currently 93. But a moment for him, because he started Special Olympics when he was 70, and Richard Hyman sure changed a lot of our lives. So if you just have a moment for Richard, I appreciate it. Thank you. The greatness is now our athletes are living longer lives, as 93 and 104 attest. But more importantly, we are getting involved at a significantly younger age. And we're doing that through the school systems. And many people in this room are part of the schools, with Jen Walsh, who's our Utopia program in Milford, and we have Regina Robinson from Boston Public Schools. So I will tell you right now, this is our future, this is where we're going, and you're gonna, a lot of our athletes here, it's in our inclusive program, and we just recently had over 1,000 athletes participate in our interscholastic high school program, which really shows we're putting athletes on and off the field. Tonight, there are many athletes in this room, from new to old. Michael Cormican from Dorchester, who I coached with his sister Kathy here when I was here in the late 80s. Yes, I was too. So just so you know, Michael Cormican has been a lifelong Special Olympics athlete, and to Michael, thank you for being here tonight, and Kathy, thank you. We have Colin and Amanda Davidson. We have Matt Millett, who I mentioned earlier, Special Olympics board member. We have Mike Kelly, Zach Martin, Emma Mazzarelli, Alex, I'm still going to butcher this, Alex Truckins, which I don't like butchered it, I'm sorry. And those of you who have not met her yet, Colette DeVito from Colette's Cookies. And that was a nice little presentation, but Jim Brett stole my thunder, but she was going to come up and present to Joe. Having known you were so hungry, I would have definitely moved this up earlier. So he can speak to your how good those cookies are. So next year, the Special Olympics movement will celebrate its 50th anniversary. As the Special Olympics movement reaches its 50th anniversary, Special Olympics Massachusetts Champions for 50 initiative will be highlighting 50 partnerships between Special Olympics athletes and community leaders, including corporations, small businesses, financial institutions, and professional sports teams. Each unified partnership will strengthen the legacy of building a more inclusive community for our athletes, with the commitment to raise the critical funds we need and increase awareness of Special Olympics in the Commonwealth. I'm happy to say the next person is one of those champions. One of the first, actually. Please welcome Jim Bratt. It was a great honor that I consider Jim a true friend and an advisor to award this year's.
Take my notes.
Take your notes. First of all, I just want to acknowledge the presence of two other people that are getting, have received very special recognitions, one in the past week, one's getting one later this week. John Heiler, who's the chair of the New England Council, was just honored by Best Buddies down in Hyannisport this past weekend. All of his support. He was probably one of the first CEOs here in Greater Boston that said, you know what, why aren't we hiring people with disabilities to be part of our workforce? And he has done that, and it's proven very successful. But by his example, other CEOs have taken the lead, saying, you know what, John, if you've done that at Texas, we should be doing that at our company. So he's been a role model for so many other CEOs, and God knows we need more role models to help our friends in the disabled community to get meaningful employment. Joni Jacksmer is going to be honored here across the hall, here on Thursday evening. Catholic Charities, Catholic Christian Center, which is head of Catholic Charities. I was here at Catholic Charities the other night. She has done a yeoman job, and I don't know how many people know her involvement in Best Buddies, Special Olympics, all of the advocacy groups that involve with disability. She has done a fabulous job. Catholic Christian will be honoring her on Thursday evening, and any of you who are admirers, as I am, of her, you'd like to come by and congratulate her. What a career that she has by being a wonderful, wonderful advocate. I always say it in the presence of Jerry Morrissey. I say it on behalf of my family. What Jerry did for our brother Jack, we will never, ever, ever forget. Our brother Jack was in many, many group homes over his years. In the one that he had the privilege of living in the last several years of his life in Scituate, those were very, 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 very happy for him and for his family, and it was all because of Jerry Morrissey. With that, I read a piece in the Wall Street Journal last week, and some of it may be familiar with what I'm about to say. But when I read it, I thought of our recipient here this evening. What it says is, lawmakers in both parties find they can barely hold town hall meetings in their own districts because they are like to be shouted at by hecklers. Social media has become a forum where insults are the norm, and outright thrust thrown out very commonly now. Such is the state of uncivilized discourse in America today. Respect seems to be an engendered idea. Lawmakers find it harder to talk with each other, which means it's harder to find consensus or even compromise. But at some point, some leaders are going to have to rise above and show us a different way. Our recipient here tonight is exactly that. He truly is a leader in the United States Congress. I was reminded today as I was driving, I said, how would I describe our recipient here tonight? In simple words. And I started saying intelligent, talented, energetic, thoughtful, kind, and giving. Needless to say, truly a man of honor. I'm also reminded of Pope St. John Paul said, a career is something you have, a vocation is something you are. And it is that person you are and have been, Joe, that we honor and congratulate you tonight with the Jack Bratt Award. We thank you for all your good work that you've done in the past, all your good work you're doing in the present, all of the good work that you'll be doing in the future. Jack Brett could vote, his vote would be for our recipient here tonight, our good friend, the Honorable Congressman Joe Kennedy.
Actually, I did.
Um, well, Jim, I'll get you to everybody here, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being here. I started to make a list of a number of dear friends in the audience, and the list started getting longer and longer and longer. So I'm not going to go through it in a whole lot of detail, so forgive me. But to Steve Rothstein, who's over at the JFK Library, and Jen Walsh, who did me the honor of accompanying me down to the State of the Union address a couple of years ago, whose photo with Nancy Pelosi still is on my wall. Tully Gross was here as well, sir. Thank you for being here. To the incomparable Johnny Jacksteimer, to John Hyler for his dedication, again, to Best Buddies, for which he was honored last week, to so many others that are here. And of course, to the Brett family. Jim, when I came in, he immediately started bragging about these cookies, which I am starving, and I immediately gulped one down. And they are absolutely delicious. And saying that, she makes 100,000 of them a week now, I think. And I happened to look at the package, and it said quantity 8, and there was 4 left. 100,000, Mr. Brett, you say. So I'm sure you just sampled them to make sure that this was in fact a good batch. But I'm grateful for you testing the food out before it came over to my plate. The Brett family, so many of whom are here. The fact that Special Olympics, the fact that would choose to honor me with this award, but named after Jim, your dear brother Jack, means more to me than many of you probably realize. I've had the honor in the past of bestowing awards carrying various family members' names on others. And those, I think for obvious reasons, aren't just another award ceremony. Do your best to try to select people that you believe carry on those individuals' values and vision and commitment to our country. And the type of country we aspire to be, knowing that we are certainly not yet there. The fact that the Brett family, Special Olympics, would bestow this recognition on me is truly humbling, and I think even more so when you realize what Jack meant to them, means to them. And of course there's a connection there just because, and most simply, that he's part of their family, and always will be. And that connection that comes from being a brother and a son and an uncle. Of all the things that I've read since I first ran for office and shortly before, one of them that always stands out to me, and that I do go back to when I think the moment merits, happens to be a simple and dedicated dedication to Jack written by his brother Jim on the occasion of his passing. And he wrote in part that Jack was also certainly an inspiration that led his brothers and sisters, and many others as well, to understand that each of us has a special responsibility to do what we can to care for persons with disabilities. In this way, it was a gift, a blessing to us. He opened our eyes, our hearts, to the needs of the disabled. In his special way, he was our teacher, and we learned the lesson early. I cannot think of something our country needs more at this moment than somebody that will open our eyes and our hearts. Somebody that will reaffirm the lessons that each of us are taught when we are little. No one is born with hate. Nobody is born seeing differences. I've got a little daughter at this point who gets up way too early, like many others. Fights like heck to stay up too late. And has this unbelievable ability to actually reach out even to people she doesn't know so well, but who exude a smile and a compassion and a willingness to care. A college friend was in town this weekend. She clung to him. I tried to pick her away from him at one point, and she wouldn't even come to me. That's how good I'm doing as a dad. But people can tell. They can tell goodness. They can tell decency. And the fact that there are the Jack Bretts in the world that some might look at it first for their differences, but that Jim's family knew that in those differences was a recognition of the dignity that passes through all of our bones, and that is worthy of our celebration and dedication every single day. And in so doing, it's a reflection of our not only shared humanity, but of a certain grace and commitment that, while perhaps prevalent in the strongest of families, certainly could use some renewal amongst our society writ large. And so, to Special Olympics and Jen, and Jim, Patty, the entire family, I am grateful and humbled to accept this award. And you have it with my promise that I will aspire to live up to it every single day the way that Jack did for all of you. Knowing that there's only a select few folks across our communities that will ever be able to open eyes and fill hearts the way that he did. But that all of us can try. Thank you very, very much.
Give him the 4 you gave my daughter. No, it's
No,
all right.
not taking
You're
this
starting. You're starting.
I got a couple more.
Kidding, I'm kidding. So, before we continue, we have another token of our appreciation. Alex, if you can join me on stage. As Tim Shriver says, sports is the great unifier and offers an opportunity to bring people together so we can help change society and break down barriers of intolerance regarding how people with intellectual disabilities are treated. This is the symbol of Special Olympics. It represents inclusion, tolerance, and acceptance. Signed by all the athletes here, thank you for helping us to ensure all of our athletes are included on and off the field of play, and hopefully you'll play better football than you did Friday. where's our photo, Charles?
Charles.
Where's Charles? Charles, here's Charles, one big photo.
Where do you want to
Right
get
here,
from?
right here. Oh, where do you want us, Charles? Do you want it over there? Or do you want it
Yeah,
here?
we can do one over there afterwards if you're all.
Do you have time? Okay, all right, then you're all excused. Okay. His invitation. I didn't say that. As I mentioned, next year we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary. Over the next 2 years, we will be reflecting on where we have been, the challenge individuals with intellectual disabilities have overcome, and how sports, and most importantly, this movement, have changed lives. As athlete Lauren Hopper recently told our board, I started Special Olympics when I was 9. To my 9-year-old Special Olympics, it meant friends. By 14 years old, my disabilities became so overpowering in my life, I moved to a residential school. To my 14-year-old self, Special Olympics was a loving connection to home. At 18 years old, I was living on my own for the first time and experienced all the ups and downs that being a young adult entails. To my 18-year-old self, Special Olympics was a constant reminder to be true to myself. When I was 21, I encountered some difficult choices regarding my future. To my 21-year-old self, Special Olympics was the family that stood behind me while I made those decisions. I am now 25, and to me, Special Olympics is hope. Hope, because hope is the foundation which all other notions are built upon. And because Special Olympics doesn't change lives, it builds futures. So as we move into our 50th anniversary, we ask that you in this room, our athletes, our coaches, our volunteers, our donors, our partners, and our friends, to take this opportunity to challenge yourselves and make sure Special Olympics is there for the next 50 years. And I ask this simply as you leave tonight, what will be your legacy to Special Olympics? Please spread the word so that we have so much more to do for the athletes in this room, for the athletes like Lauren, and more importantly, the athletes have yet to join. But we can do it only with your support. So thank you for being here tonight. It is my honor and privilege to give out the Jack Brett Champions Award to the Brett family and to Jim Brett. Thank you for being one of my closest advisors. Since moving here, I cannot thank you enough for being here tonight, and I'm so happy to be an honorable Brett girl. I know many of you have places to be this evening. Please stay and mingle. Take some pictures with the Congressman before he leaves. Thank you for your support. Safe travels, and yes, Patty will be there at the bitter end, putting all those centerpieces away in October. So please mark your calendar for September 27th, 2018, as we will celebrate our 50th anniversary at the John F. Kennedy Library. And as Tim Shriver said to me the other day, we need to do something at the JFK Library. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock, you're already committed and the keynote speaker. So with that, see you, hopefully much sooner, but please mix and mingle, take some pictures, and thank you very much.